Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, or VRRP, offers that first hop router redundancy that we're looking for by having a transparent failover when there's an issue with one of your devices that is performing VRRP. It actually takes multiple routers and groups them together so that they share a virtual IP address. So your host is connecting to an IP address for their gateway, but they don't know that there's multiple routers that can answer the request for that address. In VRRP, we elect a master per that group of routers that handles all the packets. And the rest of the routers basically remain in a standby ready state and are ready to take over when the master fails. Once again, on the Nexus device, this requires the feature to be enabled. So it's a little bit different than the gateway load balancing protocol in the fact that there's an active passive scenario where only one device is handling the packets at the same time, versus in the GLBP scenario we could load balance across multiple devices and they were all active. Here's an example of a VRRP topology. For instance, I have router A, router B, and router C. In this case, they're all in the same group, but only router A is the master, and the virtual IP is going to be the same as the master's IP address. So the host uses 10.0.0.1 as its gateway, and then B and C are there to back up router A on a failure. Even though VRRP does not support load sharing natively, I can configure it in a way to perform redundancy. So for instance, in this configuration, I have router A being the master for one virtual IP address, and I have router B being the master for the second IP address. Now both router A and router B are backups for each other. And in order for this to work, I actually have to tell my clients to talk to different gateways. For instance, client 1 and client 2 are using 10.0.0.1 as a gateway, and client 3 and client 4 are using 10.0.0.2 for a gateway. Whereas with other protocols, I only have to have one gateway, and it's a little bit simpler of a configuration. But if you want to have load sharing with VRRP, that's possible, but we have a little bit different of a configuration. Please join me for the next lesson, 10.6, Understanding Hot Standby Routing Protocol.